What's up, everybody? My name is Scotty Madonia, and right now I am in Grand Central Station on 42nd Street in Manhattan because, well, it's really cold outside and I didn't want to take this outside, but I want to tell you about tonight's guest because he is a musician and a content creator who you might know from his insanely viral videos, like the history of Japan or the history of the entire world, I guess. Or maybe you know him from his few other appearances right here on this show. So please help me welcome back to the Vibe Chamber, Bill Wurtz.
Wow.
Bill Wurtz, how you doing?
Hi, are we here?
We are here. We're live. Finally.
It's very exciting.
How you doing? It's always good.
I don't know.
I like how we always have to pretend like we weren't just talking before this. I think I mentioned this the last time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to continue what we were talking about off the air, not specifically with any artist, but this was something that I wanted to bring up. We were talking about before we got started the idea
Being a music nerd but not getting busted for it.
yes, and not
Yeah.
overusing that skill, because there are definitely some artists who take that's their entire identity.
Yeah.
And look, I went to music school. You know, I like that kind of stuff. But the reason I wanted to bring it up, and it's funny that we brought it up before, last night I was coming home from DJing and I was listening to all your stuff, just going through like the top tracks on Apple Music. And I was listening to it, and there was some stuff where I was like, you're throwing in this hip fusion stuff, right?
Right.
And it would be like 2 seconds where you're like, oh shit, what the hell is he doing? Like all this stuff left and right, and then all of a sudden, bam, clean, simple, controlled, and then boom, another. But it's like these very controlled punches, and I wanted to bring that up and talk to you about that because I was listening to it, and specifically with headphones, you can hear it because I noticed you like to put a lot of detail kind of panned off while the main kind of content is happening in the center. That's one thing I noticed, which I like because you get that texture without, like overindulging and just.
I may or may not agree with the panning with the panning thesis that you just made, but I think I don't pan things very wide actually.
I just noticed that when I hear like little riffs and stuff, they tend to be kind of right or left. Usually they're like, especially in B sections.
Yeah.
That's my that's just my I don't have your mind.
I think I pan things less because I think in the headphone era, if you're a lot of headphones, if you're on headphones, like most of the time, like a full left pan will be very, very, very far.
Mm-hmm.
So I tend to like chicken out and actually kind of. I do pan everything a little bit, but yeah, I don't like to go to extreme.
Do you mess with any of like the Dolby Atmos mixing? Because you can do it digitally now.
No.
Yeah, I got
maybe I'll do it later.
I got AirPods Pros, and it came with 6 months of Apple Music, and so I'm just now kind of getting accustomed to using Dolby Atmos, and it's cool. I don't think it's really out of its novelty phase yet. I prefer stereo because it's punchier for me. Sometimes with Atmos, it kind of feels like they took a song and just made it sound like you're in a different room, but really it doesn't necessarily add to it. But I think it could be cool down the road, but specifically with music, I just think it's kind of, I don't know. It's not my thing yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think your stuff could be really cool, but it would have to be
I haven't really tried
unique.
It. I find I don't like to overestimate the how advanced the listener's system is, because I know that sometimes it won't be. So, it's always good to even like test it in mono, honestly.
That's the best way to do it.
Classic advice. At least test it in mono, test it with no bass, because like half the listeners don't have any bass. So just test it through crap speakers just to make sure it works there.
That's kind of something unfortunate for anyone who makes anything, is that you have to remember that like you can perfect it to how you want it to be heard.
Yeah.
But then most people are not going to hear. Everyone's talked about this, but it's just, that's something that can be kind of discouraging. So if you can learn how to harness that and really understand it and get to the core of the material.
Yeah. Then again, I think if you are on a system that's like so good, and if you're listening on that level, and if you get to that level where you're listening that closely to a song or something, I feel like that's the level where you lose your mind and forget why the song was good. Mm-hmm. I feel like if you're that deep into it, you're losing your mind. So
one of the best things I ever heard about songwriting was that any really good song should be able to be played I feel like I brought this up to you before. Should be able to be played on a piano with nothing else. That's how you know it's a good song. Everything else is
Are you allowed to use words?
What?
Are you allowed to use the words though?
Yes.
Also, like
yeah.
Piano plus voice.
Yes, I just mean like without the production. If you can sit down and play it, which like even songs that you would think are more production based, like we're talking about like "Oops, I Did It Again" before we started, you could totally take that song and just play it with piano, and it would still be great.
Yeah, you ought to be able to do it somehow. Yeah.
And there's a lot of pop music. I think. I mean, there is some music that specifically I think kind of needs production, but for most music, specifically pop music, the best are the ones where you can just sit down at a piano and sing it, and you forget that it even needed anything else. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, I think that's generally about right.
So
some are going to work better on a guitar, though.
I guess that's true. Yeah, I can't play guitar. I can't really play piano well, so I can't really do much of either.
Yeah.
So how's this big project been working on? You've been
working I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't know at all?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Have you been working on anything?
Oh yeah, I've been working my ass off.
I know you're a very busy man. I know you're very dedicated to the craft of what you do. I'm so excited to see whatever it is. I don't know the scope, but I'm very excited to
it's way overhyped.
I disagree. I know you think I think it's perfectly hyped.
I know when you say that saying that raises the hype, so it makes it more true. Yeah.
What if I say it's underhyped? Does underhyped make it sound?
Then it's about right. Say it's wait, let me think. I'm not sure. It might be underhyped. If you say it's underhyped, then I don't know. But I'd like it to be underhyped.
I will. So you want me to keep my expectations?
I prefer it to be underhyped. Yeah.
I will keep my expectations at a low. Although I'm very confident that I'm going to love this.
It'd be nice if you'd forget about the whole thing. Actually, I don't mean like I'm not saying I'm mad at you for talking about it, but it would be great if No, I don't know.
I just think it's going to be so cool to see this. You've taken all this time off change your schedule. I mean, not taking time off for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how the content is different when it comes out.
It's not different. It's actually not. I already said it's overhyped, but it's not. There's really nothing different about it.
It's
overhyped.
It's better. It's underhyped. It's underhyped.
Yeah, I think it is ultimately underhyped. I'll say that there's nothing different about it, and then that being said, it's underhyped.
Okay, I will keep that expectation going into it. And I'm assuming, do you have? I know you're not going to say any like when you're planning. Do you have an idea in your mind of like a day you want to do it, or are you just doing it till it's done, and then once it's done?
Of a day I want it to be finished?
Yes.
December. No, somewhere on January 6th, 2023 would be ideal.
I thought that was going to be a January 6th joke.
Oh, right. No, 5th then. Fine.
No, I wasn't sure. You know what? I went to go see a comedy show.
There's a song. It's too bad what they did with the date. That date has been ruined now. I had a tune I had a song that I've had for years. It has the date January 6th just in the lyrics of the first verse. It was written like 4 years ago, and now the song is probably blown.
Yeah, I guess
unfortunate reasons.
That day is kind of like
I haven't really figured out. It's just got such a bad reputation now. I don't know.
I went to a comedy show the other week, and there's like 7 or 8 comics, something like that. And every single one of them had a January 6th joke. And I was like, guys,
really?
When the first 4 comedians have essentially the same joke of like, they make a joke where it sounds like they were there. Just kidding. Actually, I was. That's the whole joke. When the first 4 comedians do that, I think comedians 5 through 7 should say, let me cut that one part of my, 10 minutes out, possibly. Mm-hmm. It's like if you go to a show and the band plays,
maybe they weren't listening.
If the band before you plays Chameleon, and your set opens with Chameleon, maybe you'd consider changing it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, Chameleon is an amazing song, but you know how it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was listening to your music last night, and I was just thinking, like, on that topic of things of music that is very intricate, but at the same time controls itself. I have this kind of love-hate relationship with both of those things, because if I listen to too much music that's too cookie cutter, I start to kind of become numb. But when I listen to music where they have no kind of control over their skill, then I start to go kind of crazy.
Yeah. If only you could use half of a cookie cutter.
I like that. Do you have to control yourself at all when you're making your music and think, am I underutilizing these techniques, or am I overutilizing? Is it all just natural?
I've developed at different times in my life. I've developed a really genuine thirst for absolute high intensity music nerdery, and very, straight ahead. I don't know, very straight ahead stuff.
So you just kind of.
So I feel like I can just follow what I want to follow.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, maybe when I was like a kid, I might have followed like the music nerdery stuff too much. Maybe not. I'm not sure. Yeah, but I don't know.
I feel like that's kind of the natural arc of it to happen, where you're young, you kind of get all that knowledge, and then as you age, you learn how to refine it, like chiseling down on the stone. I think it's the people who kind of get into it later that sometimes have a little bit of lack of control, because it's kind of newer to them, and they think this is a lot, which means it's always the best decision, no matter what,
Yeah.
But I love both types of music. I mean, in high school, all I listened to was Snarky Puppy. I do think Snarky Puppy has a lot more control over many other fusion artists.
Yeah.
But that kind of stuff, Return to Forever, amazing music. I wouldn't consider it simple in the least. I don't think there's a single Return to Forever song that isn't the most complicated stuff. But that kind of stuff I like. So I kind of feel hypocritical, judging it when I hear it in places where I don't like it so much.
Yeah.
Which is why I always liked your music. I mean, in high school, my friends and I used to jam out to we would just go down the Billboard's playlist on YouTube. We'd be driving around. I feel like most people are blasting all this other stuff, and we're just screaming la-di-da at the top of our lungs. I don't mean to kiss your ass. I apologize.
It's okay.
Is a little ass kissing is okay?
I don't know.
Well, it's kind of your opinion on, if it's your ass being kissed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I wish, I feel like I try so hard for this show. We have so much that you and I are very passionate about,
Yeah.
And it's just it's funny because you were the only person who's been on this show more than twice. I'm gonna get you a trophy.
I've been on 17 times or something.
Yeah, probably 175. But it's interesting because with most people, I have such a routine. I kind of know the general idea of where I want to go, and then I go from there. But with you, I feel like we tend to nerd out about so many specific topics that I don't get to get into with other shows, because it's usually just 45 minutes one time, and then so I appreciate the fact that when you come on, you're cool with just dorking out about music and movies and stuff like that. Have anything to add to that?
I think too much at the same time.
Much
at the same time.
What would you like to add?
I'm blanking out. I don't know. Nothing.
Are you the kind of person who constantly looks for new material to inspire you? Specifically goes, I'm going to take a day and seek out just an obscene amount of new material to see if anything sparks, opens a new idea in my mind, that kind of a thing?
I don't know. I'm not sure if I know what that means.
Because there are some people who kind of get in their own kind of echo chamber of the kind of stuff that they make.
Yeah.
And then there are other people who are constantly trying to open their eyes and ears to something new. I'm the kind of person who, if I told you about how I love watching my movies.
Yeah.
But I love taking a day out of the week in saying like, I'm going to listen to this new album that came out. I'm going to watch this movie I'd never seen, because I just like the idea of taking a day to just learn about new artistic stuff, because that's the kind of thing that I've always been in, I've been interested in my whole life.
I think I probably work on a different time scale. I think for now, like, I think there will be a point where I'll take like 3 months to do that.
And then, so like you're solely learning instead of, making something new. You're just taking.
I think when you say like one day out of the week, I think for me it would be like the same thing, but just a much longer time period.
Now, is that something that just happens on a whim, or you say, I'm done with this certain project. Maybe after this span of videos is done, do you have an idea? Like, I'm going to take a little time and.
I don't know. I mean, there was a month where I spent there was like several weeks where I just spent a long time, like bookmarking real estate tours for sale, like residential and commercial real estate tours for sale. Like just like locations, just bookmarking those locations, basically like location scouting.
So like tours that you could go on if you want to buy a house?
Real estate, but yeah, I mean, people like showings, like showing what the property looks like, and
What sparked that? Anything particular?
Oh, it was location scouting.
For like filming?
Well, not actual filming, because I'm not going to go there, but doing writing things that might take place in those locations.
Now that's something interesting, because I never thought about that with your videos. I always think of it kind of like, there's that one of your recent videos is in like a parking lot in a real place.
Yeah.
Is that so? When you do locations like that, are you always drawing
that was
for
a
something?
That was a scout first. That was an example of a scout first.
So with a lot
which is not unheard of. I found out that a real movie has done that. I found out that one of the Mission Impossible movies did that. So it's not unheard of to scout first and then write. Sounds crazy, but it's actually a great idea in many ways.
Did the
because then you can write whatever you want. You can write whatever you want. You know where it's going to be. Whereas if you write first and then scout, you find yourself writing a bunch of stuff, and then you've imagined like where it takes place, and you've imagined all this stuff that might not really exist, and then you spend forever trying to find a place that doesn't really exist, and then you have to.
So did the scouting base the idea for the video, or did you have the idea, then scout it?
Scout first. No, scout first, then write. Find the place. Boom, here we are in a parking lot. What happens?
I love
and
that.
And then write from there.
That
now I can do whatever I want. I can have people jump up on a sign, and I know the sign's there, and I know the road is there, and I know everything's there.
So when you decide you're going to base it on a real place, are you then like meticulously recreating this place, as obviously with your own flair, but are you like going like, I'm on Google Maps, I see that it's 300 feet wide, I'm going to make it that?
No, it's just the names are changed. I change all the names.
Mm-hmm. But everything else is, basically to spec?
Yeah.
How often is it that an idea of yours comes that way?
How often? I don't know. I don't know how to calculate that.
Like, do you tend to get your...
For example, I did a lot of writing. In March, April 2023. Mm-hmm. But then I've been working on those ideas ever since. I haven't done it. So depending on what time scale you pick, you say how often, but it could be never. Mm-hmm. Or it could be 5 times a day. I don't know how to calculate that. Over my entire life, on average, should be much less.
Can you hear in your kind of body of work, like you said, you spent a lot of time in March writing, the type of music you were listening to at that time, whatever you were currently really obsessed with? Can you hear that come out in your writing? Because to us, it's just... It might not have been anything. But in general, when you go back, if you ever... I know you don't like to in general, but can you kind of notice certain pockets of time where you were making something where you can say like, oh, I can kind of hear that kind of stuff? Because like from a general public perspective, we're not going to notice. We're going to say this sounds like a Bill Wurtz song. We're not probably going to be thinking all of the inspiration. But you, being the person who made it, can you kind of notice those trends in the stuff you're writing?
Yeah. I can notice certain things. I had a guy jump on a sign. I had to change it. In one of the ones I'm working on now, I had a guy jump on a sign exactly the same way those guys jumped on a sign in that one in that parking lot.
So you
and then I didn't think of it. I didn't realize I'd done that twice. So I had to kind of modify it to at least become self-aware of it. I didn't cut that part out, but I had to modify it so it's a little bit more conscious of the fact that we've already seen this before. Yeah, I catch myself doing certain things twice. I don't know if that's influenced by anything. I think it's probably just from seeing these signs all over the world and just thinking, I wonder what it would be like if we jump up on top of that. I don't know.
That's got to be difficult the longer you go, because then you just have this massive, ever-growing backlog of stuff that you have to keep in check to make sure you're not kind of,
yeah, but
yourself.
I know. I did some nice rewrites just a couple of weeks ago that really, yeah, I did some rewrites recently that I really feel good about.
To change things that you thought might have been too
to fix
derivative.
Things up, yeah. To fix, I don't know, just to make it not suck.
That's always good.
Yeah.
I mean, it is very underhyped. There's no hype for it.
It wasn't too late. I didn't do it in a destructive way. I didn't rewrite it in a way that negated any work that I'd already done. It was not a destructive rewrite. It was cool. It was inside the lines.
Gotcha. Well,
except I had to model a locker room. I had one room I accidentally wrote myself into. I was trying really hard, like, don't write like, okay, now they get into a car and drive 5 miles. Like, don't do that. Yeah, because then you'll have to make all that stuff. But no, other than one locker room that I had to make, which I've already made, no, it was okay. I got away pretty good.
So you are keeping that in mind, technical limitations, time limitations, when you're writing the core content of, am I going to be able to translate these words into video form? That is something that you're thinking about as you're writing?
Somewhat yes, somewhat no. I mean, you have to, somewhat yes, somewhat no. But I mean, ultimately you have to just write what you want to write, usually. And
sometimes there's really creative stuff comes out of that, because when you have those limitations of saying, I wrote myself into a corner, I can't make a road that's 5 miles long. Right, but maybe I can interpret that and display it in a way that is less literal and honestly, in the long run, way more unique than if I just went and modeled a 5 mile long road.
Sure, yeah. To be fair, I have some scenes with 5 mile long roads, but they're already done.
I remember there's one video. I can't remember what song it's for. I would know it if I saw the thumbnail, but it was like this massive 3D project, and the camera is swooping through this. And I think the video that you had made before it was like 3.5 weeks prior, and I was like, I'm watching this and I'm like, I can tell that this is one scene, and it's going through this huge path, and there's all these shapes and these models that I'm guessing you made yourself, just because I hadn't really seen them before. And that's the kind of stuff that always amazes me, your ability to make these massive projects and do every part of them. You're like the guy who made Stardew Valley, the video game. Like, you do every single part of it and are somehow able to get it done. That to me is fascinating.
We'll see about that. Yeah.
I think I'm more confident in you getting this done than I think you are at this point. Like, I know for a fact you're going to get this done. I am so confident in it.
No, I know. The reason I know that I'm going to get this done is because I am so. I refuse so much to like let go of it. Like, no matter how much it drives me crazy, and no matter how much I think I'm screwed, I don't seem to be letting go of it. So
it's kind of like
and it makes me feel, it calms me down to work on it. Like, when I really feel like the world is falling apart in like every way. Yeah.
Is it kind of like
pretty good at, when you're... I'm pretty good at feeling like the world is falling apart, but when I work on the thing, it calms me down pretty much.
Does it ever happen when you're not working on it that you're stressed about it, getting it done, but as soon as you start working on it, it calms you down? Is it kind of that situation?
Actually, yeah. I mean, yeah, but it's, yeah.
The thinking about it is much worse than the actual act of doing it.
Oh, no, I don't get stressed about working on it. I just get scared that I'm buried and screwed.
Well, if there was any hype about it, that would be interesting. But there's no hype about it.
That's good.
No hype at all.
I'm glad.
I did have one thing that I specifically did want to ask you about.
There is too many, like, like you're in the scene, there's too many times where you find yourself in some sort of a television studio or behind the scenes in a movie studio or something where you see the cameras and you see the director, or either a talk show studio or a TV studio. That happens kind of too many times
in
this run of videos.
Okay, I was like,
but I'm mildly concerned about that. But
But I mean, it's like if you watch like
I'll sort it out.
A Scorsese movie.
I mean, I'll sort it out.
it's like a Scorsese movie from the 90s. There's a good chance it's going to be, it's going to have some mob themes, but it's that's some of the greatest films ever made. So I don't think that's necessarily a negative. I think it's just depending on how you view it. One thing I did specifically, the one thing I did want to ask you about is that the reason we started that you.
By the way, after this is all done, I'm going to do tons of songs. It's going to be back to songs, but sorry.
No, I
totally just.
No, I know there's certain things that you don't like to talk about, so if you have extra information about this run of videos or what you're doing after, just please feel free to blurt it out, because I don't want to, pry for stuff that you don't want to talk about at the moment. But you're saying this run is going to be, once this run of videos is done, it's going to basically be just focusing on music only, not connected to videos.
It's going to be a blend. No, they will be, but it'll be more songs. There are songs in this run of videos. Well, yeah, there are. Anyway, I don't know what to say about it. I don't even know what to say.
Do you think you'll do another long run where you're working on a bunch of videos after this, or is it going to go back to that old schedule?
I have two mindsets about that, because I'm enjoying what I'm doing now more than I've ever enjoyed anything. And I think it's really the right way to do it. I think it's just the right way to do it. I really think it's the right way to do it. I mean, that would be the only thing that would get me to bury myself so deeply. Yeah. That's the only thing. There's nothing, so I might just do another one because it works so well. I mean, it seems to be working so incredibly well. But it's, on the other hand, I might go further in the other direction than I've ever gone.
In what sense?
Might do like comic strips or something, daily comic strips.
That would be
Garfield kind of thing.
That'd be awesome.
Something daily that I could just bang it out. Something black and white, maybe text only. I don't know. Something incredibly easy.
Do you know the artist Beeple?
I don't recall.
Yes,
I do. Yep.
Yeah,
just came to me. Yep.
He did the
daily
posts.
Art. Daily post for a long time, and then eventually got famous in the NFT era for selling one for like $1 trillion. Yeah, but he was already. Yeah, I know who that is.
That honestly is such a great way to hone a skill and just to keep your mind active. Find a short thing that you can do in a set amount of time and release it every day. That's very healthy.
I've been there for long periods of time in my life. Definitely been there and done that, and will do probably, another incarnation of that sort of thing.
Is that kind of the reason?
Possibly after this. Like I said, that sort of thing might be the antidote to what I'm doing now, or I might just do the same thing again.
Is that why your website, you have so many different things? Obviously, you have the questions page, but you also have the section where you throw up improvisations, both piano and vocal stuff. Is it kind of that same mindset of like, maybe I'm not going to get a big video done today, but I can put something out, keep my mind going?
No, I would not describe it that way. That does not entirely make sense to me.
Well, okay.
What you just said.
I just mean
I don't mean to bum you up, but I don't understand what you just said.
No, it doesn't bum me out at all.
I don't mean that. I don't mean that in a bad way either.
No. I totally get what you're saying.
This show is not going well. It's my fault.
Bill, this is great.
But that's okay. Okay. We can recover from it.
We're gonna recover. I mean, there's lots of opportunities.
Sometimes I just watch. Sometimes I just jump onto Sherry Reed's channel and just watch whatever he's got up there.
Uh-huh.
I'm not talking about the trillions of views video that he has like from 10 years ago. I'm talking about his daily thing. He works at a church. He's a bass player. He'll just throw the iPhone on the stand and just play the tunes. And the bass is louder than it should be because the iPhone is right in front of the bass. And you can't see the rest of the band. And I wish I could see the rest of the band. And I wish I could actually be there in the thing so I could see the thing. But I kind of don't care. Sometimes I just jump on there and just see what's there.
I feel like
that's just a random side thought. Trying to boost the spirit of boost the spirits of my awkwardness that I've been drowning in here.
Bill, I think I'm having a great time. And look, like you said, there's going to be lots of opportunities for us to speak in the future. Possibly in a less formal sense than the Vibe Chamber. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
We'll see.
So you don't know what I'm talking about?
I'm not sure. I'll think about it.
Think about it. Maybe before we're done, you can let me know if you know.
Okay.
I'm just busting your chops.
Yeah.
The reason you had originally started doing this show
We
is
need like 4 more hours. I know it's stupid to keep interrupting you just when you start to say something, but we need like 4,000 more hours, because like I want to talk about everything, but the problem is I want to talk about it all at the same time, and then it just gets like just jammed up, and I can't even.
Well,
sorry, go ahead.
In the context of this show, obviously, because we have a 45-minute limit.
45 minutes? Jeez, we must be done already.
No, we've only gone a half. We got 15 more minutes. And Bill, look, you are like the friend of the show. So if we got, I gotta go to work a little later, but we can go a little longer if we need to. So don't feel like you got to rush or anything. But in the context of this show in general, is a little more. I don't want to say rehearsed, because it's not like we practice anything, but it's more. There's more limits and stuff like that. But like in the context, if we had like the context of something else where there's unlimited time, I feel like that might be a place where you're more comfortable, where there's just like us talking rather than like Scotty's going to ask Bill questions and then Bill's going to try to answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it really, like, the good quality stuff really kicks in after the point where it's way too long for anyone to be still listening.
If there was it would be
like
cool.
4 hours, 5 hours into the show, then it really gets good.
Well, in the future, there's nothing stopping us from doing that.
That's true.
Not here, though. Here, no.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
We definitely can figure something out.
Yeah.
Can I ask you what I wanted to ask you?
Sure.
Oh, I just wanted to ask how you feel in general about, because the reason you first started doing these is because you said you had like this urge to talk on camera more, and I couldn't imagine when we started, opening up my YouTube homepage and seeing you with Anthony Padilla, like one of the biggest shows for interviewing people on YouTube. So you must feel much more comfortable. I'm not trying to, kiss my own ass.
No, not really.
Bill was on the Vibe Chamber, but do you feel at least more comfortable accepting offers to be on places now that you've spent more time? Obviously, you did that amazing Beatles podcast. That must have helped you kind of get. No,
I've done a bunch of them. I mean, it's I don't know.
But I just can't imagine you even.
I'm doing one next Wednesday.
What is that?
It is. I don't know the name of it.
That's okay.
Yeah, but there is one next Wednesday. It's recording next Wednesday, and it's being posted sometime very soon after that.
Really? Is there?
Yeah.
Is there like a specific? Is it just a interview kind of like this, or is it a specific topic that it's on?
Yeah. No, there's no. No, I don't know.
I feel like you're cheating on me. No. I'm literally just kidding.
Okay.
That didn't win. I apologize. That joke didn't fly.
That's okay.
I will admit, Bill, I said it. I know you don't like when I say your name in the context of the show. You're hard to joke to. I like to make jokes, but you seem very.
That's not necessarily true. It's actually that's not necessarily true.
You're pickier than most people, because when I say an unfunny
that
joke,
may be true. That might be true.
When I say a joke that's not funny, most people will pretend to laugh, even though it's obviously not funny. But I do respect that you will not laugh if my joke is not funny, which is 90% of them. So I totally get it.
To be fair, is it really joke? Are funny thing? Is it usually jokes that are a funny thing? I mean, isn't it even more funny when something that's not a joke is funny? Isn't that where funny things? Yeah, I think non-jokes are often funny.
It's kind of like
sometimes
a joke in the context of a comedy film, where it's the situation, it's the way they say something that's funny, not just. Like one of my favorite jokes ever.
We just need 4,000 more hours at this, and that would iron out all the wrinkles. It's really tough, even though we've done like 6 or 7 shows so far, but that's not enough. We need more. If you look at any show in like the 6th or 7th show, it's still weird.
But if we had a place where we could just do this,
it would get good. It would get really, really good.
I think it would.
It would.
It would. It definitely would.
That's why I jump in out of order sometimes when I I was thinking of something that Christopher Nolan said about writing. The idea of writing outside of your technical ability. The comment popped into my head. He said, you want to be careful never to write when you're writing. Be like, it's snowing. Like you never want, like you do that. I mean, you do that, but when you do that, you're like, oh God. It's like, it's hard to make.
Versus doing what?
Snowing is really, really hard to do on screen. Especially if well, in his case, he's filming live action. It's like insane there. Unless it's you get lucky and it's actually snowing.
That's true. I've seen a bunch of films where they're like, it wasn't supposed to be snowing. It was supposed to just be snow on the ground, but we had one day to shoot it. And so now the scene is set in a blizzard. And then when we went back to LA to tape the indoor scenes, we had to account for that and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I don't make movies. That's what, I mean, for many reasons, but that has to be absolutely insane on just a organization level. I don't understand how producers and directors do that. Yeah. Yeah. We could go off on movies for like 5.5 hours.
It's possible. Yeah. It's possible. Yeah.
Like I said, if there might come a time where we have a chance to do that.
That lighting you have is really good. But the thing is, I don't know what the viewers are seeing. So again, my view is different, but that's okay.
It's pretty similar, but it looks a lot better on.
They're not seeing the left side of the they're not seeing the left side of the arcade machine. That's got a nice red on it.
Yeah, if I move, I have a red light right here, a blue light over there, a backlight, and then a hair light. That I, after doing the show for a few years, add a light here, change stuff there. I don't know. It's kind of the fun. Yeah. I like to dork out about that kind of aspect of making the show. Like the actual making of the show is what's fun for me too.
Yeah.
So I like to do all that kind of go like, what hue of red should I be using? And
I flip out about behind the scenes stuff. I absolutely flip out. I just flip out.
I have
in a good way. I mean, I'm like, yeah.
If there's ever a time where you're in the city, I have so many Blu-rays that have special features of movies, and they have like the full behind the scenes. We could dork out with my new projector. Mm-hmm. We could be watching special. We could be shedding, Bill. We could be shedding the art of filmmaking. Mm-hmm. I'm not asking you on a date. I'm just asking you to watch a movie.
No, that sounds lovely.
I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
And then we could once again go 5.5 hours just talking about the random filmmaking things that we just learned.
Yeah.
But you're saying that after you still don't feel any amount more comfortable in general than you did, a year ago?
Slightly. No, it goes up and down,
I was just so happy to see that you saw Anthony's show, or you did Anthony's show. Just to see you do something in person, which is obviously a lot more.
Yeah.
That's a lot more stressful than doing something like this where you just log in on Zoom and.
Right. I've done those before. Yeah.
I know.
But it's better. It's definitely more. It's definitely more. It's better. We should do this show that way. I don't know.
I would love to
do that next time. Yeah.
Well, it could be. Yeah. I would love to find a way to set up my studio to do it like that, because if I could get people,
you've never had an in-person guest before.
I have not had an in-person guest just because of a lot of limitations that I have not figured out yet. But I would love to do that. That's kind of a goal for the show, is to have a full studio setup where I can have people in, someone to manage the cameras, all that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. If we could do this in person, though, you and I think then it would be like a 3.5 day long show.
Yeah.
Because if we just like,
that's a better length. Oh, and I convinced you not. Oh my God. Yeah. No, I finally convinced you not to do the clips.
I promised.
I'm scared of the clips.
I promised you I wouldn't do clips for this one.
That's crazy. You wouldn't budge on that last time.
Well,
now to be fair, the clips often might be good. It's just I just can't handle it. Like I've seen clips where they're like where it's like I don't know. I've seen clips where the title is like the opposite of what they said in the thing, and I don't know.
I've been there, and it's never intentional, but I've definitely posted videos of guests where, I think I told you this the last time we talked. Someone commented, and they're like, I don't really understand the title. So I rewatched it. I had my friends and my roommate rewatch it and say, what do you think about this title? And then I changed it. Like, I genuinely do try, no matter what, to give the most genuine description of the content. I think there are some people who don't. I will say some people I genuinely believe do not care if it's genuine. They just want to get the click. Whereas like, I don't want to be like an asshole and, frame someone what they said in a way that they didn't really mean. But you can't nail it 100% of the time.
Man, can you imagine doing in the days when there was like 6-minute clips, like on television talk shows and stuff, or like 5 minutes? Jeez.
I mean, if this was like a traditional television show,
this feels like that short. This is insane.
I mean, with all the, like I said, I used to do the audience for Stephen Colbert, and I was just a page there, and I saw a bunch of interviews, and it's like he did do some that went on for like an hour. But sometimes if it was like really like a really clean interview, there's nothing being held up, they could knock it out in like 15, 20 minutes. And they're great interviews, but it's amazing that, we've been going twice that length and it feels short. I can't even imagine being in his seat, having these notes that he has to get to, and you have studios breathing down your back to make sure you hit these certain things. It's not an easy job. So when people get like kind of overcritical of late night hosts, I go like, give them a little break. They've got a lot to think about. That's a tough thing, getting an interview packed to that amount of time.
Oh yeah.
I can't even imagine. Those 45 minutes sometimes can, like you said, it feels short. It can be a kind of tough, but that's kind of the fun.
I want to talk till there's like nobody listening anymore. I want to just pass that threshold where everyone is already tuned out, and then really get to the real conversation.
Well, the next time we talk, how about we do that?
Okay.
I'm not going to say more if you don't want me to. I understand. I know you like.
No, there's too much to say. Like, I have too much to say. Like, I can't even. I'm looking at the time right now. There's too much to talk about. I want to talk about Turkmenistan. I mean, yeah, I want to talk about it all.
Okay, I'm going to go through, because this is in context. I'm going to say this very slowly and yell, stop, okay?
Wait, no, that doesn't sound like a fun game.
I'm just saying if you don't want me to keep going.
No, this doesn't sound like a fun game.
No fun game? Okay. Well, then I'll ask you, what'd you eat for lunch today?
Oh, man. Now I wish we could go back to the other games. Oh, man.
That's a softball, I think.
Yeah, for normal people, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. It occurred to me that all the videos I write, this is a kind of a weird realization I had about all the stuff that I write. I know we got to get out of here in 3 minutes, probably.
No, don't worry.
I realized that all the dialogue and everything that I write, I realized that I just, without knowing it, I write in the context of a world where people are going to live forever, and where basically, for the most part, people don't have any of the things that other animals have or do. Like, okay, there's like all the other animals that are not the human animals, and then there's human. And like, humans have a bunch of special skills and special things that we do, like mostly like language, talking, and that type of stuff. It occurred to me, it just occurred to me that when the stuff that I write and dialogue that I write, I pretty much write it for like only that human set of stuff, but not the stuff that is the stuff that animals also do. So like the eating lunch and stuff like that. Actually, no, the lunch maybe, but the eating, yeah, never mind. Yeah.
But the thing I'm not connecting is you doing it versus someone that you're writing about.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
No, I'm interested in what you're saying. I'm not. I apologize if I'm not connecting the dots completely.
Yeah. What about you? Did you have a nice lunch?
I did have a nice lunch. It was very good. I had a bacon, egg, and cheese.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Bill. I didn't know that. I didn't mean to throw you off with the. I thought that would be
a
good
I'm fine.
Icebreaker.
Yeah. No, you overestimated. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I surprise myself. No, it's weird. I mean, I work alone, but sometimes I get shocked when I do things like collaboratively. I'm like, wow, I am more off the map than I realized sometimes. Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, everyone has certain quirks. I think you and I kind of have some overlap, but in terms of speaking, we're definitely different in that sense.
Different, right? But it's a good match, though.
It is a very good match, I think, because it's like you love silence if it's natural, and silence.
No, I don't. But it's better than unnatural non-silence.
Okay, I get what you're saying, but I hate silence. I get really uncomfortable. I get like.
If you listen to my videos, like that are edited, if you listen to my edited videos or songs, I think I come across also as a person who's afraid of silence. Unfortunately, I'm not proud to say that, but I think if you watch my videos, you would find I do tend to be a silence fearful person.
You like to compact a lot of information. You don't want
I am not
time.
proud of that, but if you listen to, like, if you look at my work, it's kind of jam packed usually. No, I'm not proud of that necessarily, but no, probably should use more silence.
Well, maybe there's something.
But if we're here not editing, then we don't have a choice.
Yeah. Here it's all whatever happens now is what people are seeing for the rest of eternity, which is great. It's natural. If people watch, if people watch this and they go like, "Wow, I don't like this host," or whatever, that's just how it is. You know what I mean? It's not because it was edited wrong. It's just that's what happened.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like I'm developing a real hankering, a real thirst, a real desire to like totally non-edit. Like I'm like, as the antidote to like all of the fierce micromanaging editing work that I've done and everything, I'm just starting to really, it's starting to come around. It's starting to get real. Yeah.
Do you think you'll try that for your next project?
Well, we're doing it right now.
Oh, you're talking about even the context of this, not just your main YouTube channel.
This would be an example. Yes, this would be an example of a non-edited thing, which, as you noticed, has a lot of silence in it and a lot of what the heck is happening at this moment.
That's okay though.
And so forth.
I
know that's what I'm saying.
Great.
I'm developing a real thirst for that because so many things are edited. Because it's so possible to edit things now. Of course, I'm guilty of that terribly. I've edited my stuff to stranglehold edit.
Well, maybe there'll come a time where we'll have the full 3 hours of unedited whatever we want.
Yeah.
And maybe that'll happen.
Yeah.
It's very possible it'll happen.
Yeah.
No one knows.
Mm-hmm.
Bill, we're out of time.
Yeah.
You like my outro there?
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. Well, it was great talking to you as always. I know we're going to keep in touch. I have to go to work, unfortunately. No, fortunately, that's right. Yeah. I have a good time.
I have to apologize for my terrible performance on the show, and hopefully we can redeem ourselves at some point in the future. I can redeem myself at least. Yeah,
we definitely will. You don't no reason to redeem yourself, but we will definitely be speaking more in the future.
Maybe,
we'll be speaking somewhere. That's all I'll say. Yeah. We'll be speaking somewhere.
Fair enough.
Okay. Thank you, Bill. Thank you to everyone who watched. If you're in the city, you want to come see me DJ, come to Off the Wagon tonight. It's going to be fun. It's going to be cold, but it'll be fun. Okay, I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.